Hi everyone, Jared here. Time for the market video update. Hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend. I sure did. We've had an interesting day in the market today. Dow had a pretty good rally in it. S&P had a pretty good rally. Gold's up a bit. Oil's back up. We saw oil all the way down in the 102 range. And then things are kind of back up and back down and just kind of a bunch of things going on. So kind of a crazy day. A good day to definitely just watch the levels and look for the breakouts on the levels. That's what we need to really be watching for, because as far as everything else goes, I think the markets are a little out of whack today, and they might be for the rest of this week. You never know. Coming up later on today, we have retail sales. That's a big one out of Australia, so that'll get things moving a little bit. Then we have the interest rate announcement, and that's also a big one, especially if that comes out changed. Right now, it's expected to come out unchanged, and it could still come out, exactly unchanged, but it could have a big move even being unchanged. Depends on what this the RBA statement is. If it's positive, negative, or dovish, or hawkish, as they say, that could really get that pair moving. So keep an eye on that. Be careful with any Aussie trades you might have going tonight. Coming into tomorrow, we have a pound dollar trade potentially happening in that UK session, but we have the FOMC meeting minutes, and this always gets things all kinds of messed up, because this is where the markets either tank or they do major breakouts, and we're just kind of looking to see which one's actually going to be happening. So this is our big event of tomorrow, and then we have Australian trade balance tomorrow night, so that's going to be a big one as well. Dollar index just finally broke below 79. Remember, we've been looking at it. It's been above this 79 the whole time, but still it's just kind of in this lower area here. We've still got an ascending trend line, and it's kind of coming back into contact with that. We'll see if that holds or breaks, and we'll see how this kind of all comes together on our charts here. First of all, we see that we were looking at the euro dollar, and we talked about in the notes yesterday selling the euro dollar kind of at this 133.15. We saw a nice little breakdown there, and it's kind of just back up in this area. But I'm looking at this as potentially being a major top. Now, if this breaks, if 133.75 breaks, be in that buy, or buy it as it breaks, because I think that's going to be a big movement up into at least the 13400 area and potentially beyond. 134.50, 134.80. So watch this level and be ready for a buy there. Likewise, I think we could get in even a little bit earlier at about the break of 133.50. I think if that breaks, we're probably going to at least test that high, which would give us 20 to 25 pips to work with, and then already be in the trade. So if it does break, we're just that much better off. So really look for a break of 133.50, but ultimately, if you miss that, 133.75 is the big upside movement there. On the downside, I still think that the euro dollar is kind of interesting here. I kind of like the euro dollar, how it's double topped here in a pretty small way. It's off that just a little bit, but I think this is almost a good place to put a stop and just throw a sell in here and try to go short on this pair and have a pretty tight stop of maybe 20, 25 pips somewhere in there, and take this potentially back down to the lows, which is about 40 pips, and even beyond. This euro doesn't seem like it really wants to make that much more of a run up, so if we can get a little bit of a break and get below this trend line right here, I think we could have some pretty serious movements in the works, and it's kind of looking like it wants to break. So we'll see if it does or not, but with a top out like that, we might be in for a big breakout to the downside. Pound dollar, we've seen this pound dollar kind of all over the place. I talked a little bit about this range. We saw some breakouts up and down, and it's just kind of, pound dollar is kind of chopping around. But here's what I'm looking at on the smaller time frame of the pound dollar. If we get below this 160.10, I think that's a good sell area. We're going to get to some support for sure at about 160. So 160 is going to get us stuck down here. Might have a little bit of trouble with that one, but I think we'll be able to get past it. If we get past that 160.10, I think we're going to get past 160, because I think this pair wants to head back down below, test these lows and kind of get on into some lower, mid 15900s area. So look for a break of 160.10. I think we're going to have some sell opportunities there. Initial target here, 159.90, and that's only 20 pips away, and with spread and everything, we're talking about a 15 pip run or so. But at that point, all I'm saying is lock in profit and trade it on through the break of that low. I think once again, if we get through 160.10, we're going to get through 160, and we're going to get through 159.90. Likewise, though, if that doesn't happen and this pair just starts heading back up again, I like it. Even though we have this high here, which is almost 160.50, it's just shy of 160.50. I like a possible entry at 160.35. I think if we break 160.35, that's going to kind of get us into this trend line area here, and we might have ourselves a buying opportunity above 160.35 area. So look for a buying opportunity there, selling opportunity below 160.10. Euro yen, pound yen pairs are moving a little bit. Great, great. Here's a trade we took. We grabbed some nice pips out of this morning. A breakout on the Aussie dollar, just above 10400. Thing ran up really nicely, retraced back a little bit, and kind of just has been hopping around. But we took some nice pips on that. I like this Aussie dollar above 104.50. I think above this area, the pair has the potential of reaching this high of 105.50 if it can break 104.50. So we're going to keep our eye on that. Otherwise, we obviously have a trend line right here that'll be good to keep an eye on, but I also think below about 10400, the Aussie dollar gets interesting for a possible sell opportunity as well. So 10400 could be a good breaking point to start taking this pair down. So watch for that, look for that, see if we get a breakout there. But that looks like a pretty decent little trade. Here were some of the levels we were looking at. We were watching for this breakout, and we had that happen, but we were really more importantly watching the channel on gold, which is about 1660 and about 1675. And we saw that 1675 broke nicely and has just kind of retraced, but it's still staying above that 1675. So now we've kind of got this trend line right here that we can keep an eye on, and it's kind of been bumping along this. But as long as it holds that support at 1675, we're probably going to see some, some push and some support on the Aussie dollar, possibly on the euro dollar and pound dollar pairs, and be able to kind of take those pairs down. But so far, I'm definitely leaning a little bit towards euro dollar, pound dollar sell opportunities, and I don't like to get stuck in a trend or in an idea of what I think the market's going to do, because the levels dictate all. But I just kind of think these pairs might be starting to lean a little bit to the downside. But remember, we do have that big news coming out, and that can always change everything, and it almost always does. So let's keep our eye on that. But let's just watch these levels. We've got them 160.10, 160.35, 133.50 above there, and just a sell opportunity anywhere in the middle should be okay to take it down. And then we've got the Aussie dollar that we just need to wait on because we've got some big interest rate announcements. So best of luck, guys. We've got things happening and going on and lots of activity and lots of movement. So let's keep at it, and I will see you guys in the chat.